Hidden risks can be hiding in plain sight in many kitchens. In this video, we explore 12 common kitchen items, from black plastic utensils and plastic storage containers to non-stick cookware, wraps, and takeout boxes, that could contribute to chemical exposure when heated, worn, or aged. We'll uncover how microplastics migrate, PFAS linger in coatings, and other chemical transfers can occur, and offer practical tips to reduce your exposure. Watch on for simple steps to make safer choices without sacrificing convenience. 1. Black plastic kitchen utensils. The hidden toxic recycling problem. Your favorite black spatula or serving spoon might be hiding a dangerous secret. Recent research has uncovered high levels of cancer-causing, hormone-disrupting flame-retardant chemicals in a variety of household products made with black plastics, including food serviceware, kitchen utensils, and toys. This shocking discovery stems from the fact that demand for black plastic is often met with e-waste, discarded electronics like old computers, phones, TVs, monitors, speakers, and appliances, that contains toxic chemicals such as phthalate, flame retardants, and heavy metals such as cadmium, lead, nickel, chromium, and mercury. The most concerning finding was the presence of Decabda, a flame retardant banned in 2021 by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency due to its links to cancer and other serious health issues. A study found Decabda in a significant portion of the black plastic products tested, with levels significantly exceeding safety limits set by the European Union. Although existing safety regulations limit the amounts of these chemicals and metals present in electronics, there are currently no government regulations covering the safety of recycled black plastic items. Therefore, high levels of toxic chemicals that are prohibited in your laptop or phone are perfectly legal in your black plastic fork, spatula, slotted spoon, or hot cup lid. 2. Plastic food storage containers. The microplastic migration crisis. Every time you store leftovers in that trusty plastic container, you might be inviting unwanted chemical guests to dinner. These containers are not totally inert and leach varying levels of metals and chemicals into the foods they store, especially if subjected to elevated temperatures. Microplastics are small plastic pieces less than 5 millimeters long that can come from the breakdown of larger plastics, or can be plastics that are intentionally made to be very small. Microplastics have been found in nearly every part of the human body, from major organs like the heart and brain to breast milk and the placenta. Microplastics migrate into the food supply and cause health issues, such as increased inflammation, impaired fasting glucose, insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. What makes this even more alarming is that using recycled plastics for food containers is problematic. It has been asserted that recycling plastics has a net human health benefit. However, that does not mean recycled plastics should be used in food containers. Unfortunately, recycling increases the risk of contamination. 3. Non-stick cookware. The PFAS forever chemical trap. The perfectly smooth surface on your non-stick pan comes at a hidden cost that could last forever in your body. Most non-stick cooking pans and some baking pans are coated with a polymer form of PFAS called PTFE, polytetrafluoroethylene. PTFE, best known by the brand name Teflon, is typically made using several hazardous PFAS, per and polyfluorinated alkyl substances, that have polluted drinking water across the globe. They're called forever chemicals because many persist for months or even years in our bodies, and they break down very slowly, if ever, in the environment. A growing body of evidence indicates some PFAS contribute to liver disease, increased cholesterol, impaired response to vaccines, thyroid disease, asthma, lowered fertility, and high blood pressure in pregnant women. Elevated risks of testicular and kidney cancer have been found in highly exposed people. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies PFOA, a heavily used and well-studied PFAS chemical, as a possible carcinogen. Even more concerning is that researchers used metal and wooden utensils with both old and new non-stick cookware and found they all caused tiny abrasions to the coating, which released PTFE particles. 4. Plastic wraps and cling films. The invisible chemical transfer. That convenient plastic wrap clinging to your food might be doing more than keeping it fresh. That unexpected ingredient is something called a plasticizer, a chemical used to make plastic more flexible and durable. Today, Plasticizers, the most common of which are called phthalates, show up inside almost all of us, right along with other chemicals found in plastic, including bisphenols such as BPA. These have been linked to a long list of health concerns, even at very low levels. The danger multiplies when heat gets involved. Heat makes plastic release harmful chemicals like BPA, so I always microwave in ceramic or glass. You can play it safe and reduce the amount of chemicals getting into your food from plastic by following these tips. Avoid allowing plastic wrap to come into contact with food, especially when heating or if the food has a high fat content, like meat or cheese. The science is clear that fatty foods act like magnets for these harmful chemicals. 5. Take out food containers. The double exposure danger. Your favorite restaurant's delivery might come with an unwanted side of toxic chemicals. Black plastic kitchen utensils, takeout containers and toys can contain flame retardants and chemicals that are unsafe, according to a study published in October 2024. These items are often made with recycled electronics, which are treated with flame retardant chemicals. Anyone who buys frozen meals from the grocery store or buys carry-out food from restaurants will want to know about new warnings about the danger of black plastic food containers. Improper recycling of TVs, computers, and other electronics is exposing consumers to toxins in black plastic products such as black plastic takeout containers, food utensils, toys, and hair products. What makes takeout containers particularly dangerous is the combination of hot food and potentially toxic materials. Items of the greatest concern include black plastic cooking utensils, stirrers, food containers, and hot cup lids, as exposure to heat increases the likelihood of these toxic chemicals leaching into your food and drink. Think about it. That steaming hot soup or curry sitting in a black plastic container for 30 minutes during delivery creates the perfect storm for chemical migration. 6. Plastic baby bottles and sippy cups. The vulnerable population target. When it comes to our most vulnerable family members, the stakes couldn't be higher. In general, elevated exposure to BPA in children appears to trigger early puberty, heart conditions, obesity, weak immune system, and overall negative effects on health. Researchers have also linked BPA to learning and behavior disorders, and other neurodevelopmental issues. Conditions like attention deficit hyperactive disorder, ADHD, anxiety and depression, and even aggressiveness have been associated with childhood exposure to BPA. While progress has been made, dangers still lurk. CR does not find BPA, lead, or certain phthalate in 9 baby bottles but warns that related chemicals could still be present and cautions parents to consider using glass or silicone bottles. The concerning reality is that years ago, I put my kids' plastic baby bottles in the microwave to warm up milk because I, like so many people, just thought everything I bought at the store was safe for all uses. Now, because of my research, I would never do that. Even products marketed as safe can contain substitute chemicals that haven't been fully studied yet. 7. Plastic water bottles. The daily chemical dose. That seemingly innocent plastic water bottle could be delivering more than hydration with every sip. Single-use water bottles, to-go containers, food cans, and storage wraps are examples of common plastic-based food packaging that contains microplastics. Heating food in plastic packaging, long storage times, and the type of plastic packaging a person uses all affect the amount of the microplastics and their harmful chemicals that migrates into food. The problem becomes even worse when these bottles are exposed to heat, like being left in a hot car or stored in direct sunlight. Most of our exposure to BPA is through our diet. Try not to buy as much canned food or plastic water bottles. Better alternatives include fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables, and making food from scratch whenever possible. Choose a reusable stainless steel, glass, or ceramic bottle for water, instead of buying water in plastic bottles. The cumulative effect of drinking from plastic bottles daily adds up to significant chemical exposure over time. 8. Melamine dishes and bowls. The formaldehyde factory. Those colorful, virtually unbreakable melamine plates and bowls popular in households and restaurants hide a toxic secret. When exposed to heat or acidic foods, melamine plastic can release formaldehyde and melamine into food. Hot foods and acidic items like tomato sauce create the perfect conditions for chemical migration. Children are particularly at risk because they're more likely to use melamine dishware and their developing bodies are more susceptible to chemical damage. Studies have shown that using melamine dishes with hot foods can result in significant increases in melamine levels in urine within hours of consumption. This becomes especially concerning when you consider that melamine is linked to kidney stones and kidney damage. The bright, fun designs that make these dishes appealing to families might actually be masking a serious health hazard that parents unknowingly serve meals on every day. 9. Plastic cutting boards. The microplastic generators. Every chop, slice, and dice on your plastic cutting board could be adding invisible plastic particles to your food. Each knife cut creates tiny grooves and releases microscopic plastic fragments that can end up in whatever you're preparing. Unlike wooden cutting boards that naturally have antimicrobial properties, plastic boards can harbor bacteria in these knife-created crevices while simultaneously contaminating your food with plastic particles. The danger multiplies when you use these boards for hot foods or place hot pans on them. Heat accelerates the breakdown of plastic, releasing more particles and potentially harmful chemicals. Professional chefs have long preferred wooden or bamboo cutting boards, not just for their gentleness on knives, but also because they don't contribute microplastics to food. Your daily meal prep routine could be unknowingly adding thousands of plastic particles to every dish you prepare. 10. Plastic tea bags and coffee pods. The hot beverage hazard. Your morning routine might be starting the day with a dose of plastic particles along with your caffeine. When hot water meets plastic tea bags or coffee pod materials, it creates ideal conditions for microplastic release. Research has shown that a single plastic tea bag can release billions of microplastic particles when steeped in hot water. That's far more than what's found in other food and drink items. Coffee pods present a similar problem, with hot water under pressure forcing its way through plastic materials. The combination of heat, pressure, and time creates maximum conditions for chemical leaching. Many popular single-serve coffee systems use plastic components that come into direct contact with hot beverages. Switching to loose leaf tea with metal strainers or traditional coffee brewing methods can eliminate this significant source of daily microplastic consumption. 11. Plastic ice cube trays and frozen food packaging. Cold doesn't necessarily mean safe when it comes to plastic exposure. Plastic ice cube trays, especially older ones, can leach chemicals into the water as it freezes and sits in contact with the plastic for extended periods. The freezing and thawing cycle can cause plastic to become more brittle and release particles. Those perfectly clear ice cubes might be carrying invisible chemical passengers. Frozen food packaging presents another overlooked risk, particularly for items that require heating in their original containers. The temperature shock from freezer to microwave or oven can cause rapid expansion and contraction of plastic materials, increasing the likelihood of chemical migration. Many frozen meals explicitly warn against this, but busy consumers often ignore these warnings. The convenience of heating food in its original packaging comes at the cost of potential chemical exposure that accumulates over time. 12. Plastic kitchen storage jars and containers. Those clear plastic containers that keep your pantry organized might be slowly contaminating your food supplies. Long-term storage in plastic containers allows for gradual chemical migration, especially with fatty foods like nuts, oils, or stored leftovers containing fats. The chemicals in plastic are fat-soluble, meaning they're drawn to and dissolve into fatty foods more readily than water-based items. Cracks and cloudiness are signs that a clear, reusable plastic container has started to break down and may be releasing BPA or other chemicals into your beverage or food. Over time, repeated washing, especially in hot water or dishwashers, creates microscopic damage that increases chemical leaching. That cloudy appearance in old plastic containers isn't just cosmetic, it's a warning sign that the plastic is breaking down and potentially contaminating whatever you're storing inside. Glass or stainless steel alternatives eliminate these concerns entirely while providing better long-term food storage.